collected drip out of oil wells and farmed. Drip is a casing head.
I know what drip is.
Okay.
Because Ray had that. I know what that is because he'd bring that home. Bring home a gallon of drip. Yeah.
That is, when I was in college in 1956, or when did I? 50, 52, 51. I suppose the year I went to Kibern, that old 53 Plymouth, 61, that old 53 Plymouth probably didn't have 100 gallon of gas ever put in it. We came home every weekend and ran the drips. And another thing in the history of this that the world don't know, especially Nebraskans and back east. In the 50s, you could buy propane for a nickel a gallon.
That'd be nice.
And gas was about 20 cents. So half of these old tractors I've bought around here are people that converted gas tractors to LP. There's a tank place out in Amarillo, Texas, West Texas, that built special tanks, or that built tanks for Western Tank Supply, built tanks for these people in these shops to come in and take that gas tractor and make it into propane. I can show you some of them are still around here. And that's why some of this stuff, if you get a hold of a real good factory LP, now International claims that they never made a factory LP, M or Super M. You know what they did?
Huh.
They built a tractor without the gas tank, without the carburetor, and they had a shop across the street. And they took that tractor off the assembly line, and converted it into LP. They also sold tractors to dealers that didn't have gas tanks or carburetors on them, so they could modify them in their own shop. But now, if you want to specialize in tractors, you're talking general, but if you want to specialize in tractor, go to LP Tractor Specialist and Conversion. Because out here in this country, you think about it, farming with nickel propane or 20-cent gas, what would you do?
Get the propane.
Yeah. But
and this was in the 50s?
Yeah.
When they were doing that?
50s and 60s and 40s. When I was a kid, you know what they did with the drip?
Huh.
They poured it out on the ground.
Oh, at the well sites?
Yeah, the old people did. They had no interest in drip. The only problem is that the government got kind of ticked off. And they had the tax people. They had 3 or 4 tax agents in this area around here trying to catch people running drip, taking them out of the well. Ask Bobby Clifton about drip. He had a special hose that he could go to one of these pipelines. You know, you see these humps that comes on these pipelines?
The pipelines that are up above the ground, yeah.
Okay. Back then there was a drip there.
Uh-huh.
He had a special hose that he could go in and screw into that drip and gently open the valve and fill his gas can.
Is that why they color the diesel for the farm?
No, that's way later. They colored the diesel for the farmers when Dodge started making diesel trucks. the farmers all went out and bought diesel trucks and ran tractor diesel in it, which screwed up Nebraska's tax situation. So Nebraska passed a law. It was illegal to run off-road fuel on the roads. And I think there's a federal law on it too.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if they got, and then them people, tax people, went to sale barns every Monday or Thursday when they had
the cow sale, the animals, livestock sales.
And they checked diesel pickups to see if it was off-road or gas. We ran off-road diesel in that Love out there for 3 or 4 months. We bought an old 50-20 John Deere that the guy had been working on at an auction. It had I think it was 40-gallon tank, and that tank was completely full of off-road diesel. So me and Steve run most of it through that Love. But that's when they colored the diesel, so it's easier for to find out if there were tax evasion. But no, a lot of people farmed with drip in the 30s and 40s. It just go out to the oil well. They either knew the pumper, or they were the pumper, or they knew where the drip was. And there's a lot of drip over there west of Marlow. But now the stupid oil company takes that drip and puts it into it separates out of the natural gas like up here. Let's see, one of these oil wells pumps the drip back into the gas pipeline. The other one separates the drip and sells it to the oil companies. I can't remember which one. I think the one over there on the hill, or the Marathon. I think they separate the drip at the well site. Whereas Continental pumps it into the pipeline. They only get something like, even today, something like 10-15 cents a gallon for it. But you take drip and thick crude. Rick can tell you all that.
Yeah, I know about some of that.
You take drip and put it in this thick crude, and you come out with number 1 crude, which increases the price. Well, back in the 40s, they didn't do that. 50s, they didn't do that. They just dumped the drip.
That's interesting. That might be a